It's your Intellect once again. I welcome you all today for our advanced level history exam coaching. So in this case, we are dealing with the questions related to the Anglo-Ndebele War. This question reads, examine the cause of the Anglo-Ndebele War of 1893 to 1894 and determine who was to blame for the outbreak of the war. So we've stated here, as I've displayed using these points, that whenever the question comes, you can question in a type yekuti examine the causes. Examine the causes. We are looking for internal who is to blame. Tikutsvaga kuti chii chakakonzeresa kuti pave neAnglo-Ndebele War, but ichitsvaga kuti chii yazoti chitiudza kuti ndiani watingablame. So in the context, you have to know that the Anglo-Ndebele War, it was a war of dispossession which happened between the two faction groups, that is the white settlers and the Khumalo. So in this case, we want to blame kuti akakonzeresa hondo ma-whites here kana kuti mandebele. So in the context kuti they are whites are to be blamed, tinotsvaga pama-causes ese atinoziva eAnglo-Ndebele War, tinotsvaga kuti ndeapi which causes are related to are related to ma-whites, and what are also some of the causes that are related to the Ndebele. So tiri papo, our point yakanzi failure to find the second round. We'll be explaining that the outbreak of the Anglo-Ndebele War can be blamed much more upon the white settlers. Why? When the white settlers failed to find the second round in Shona land, they thought that since Lobengula was a paramount chief in the interior, that is in this country, Zimbabwe, they thought that the gold belt was running through Lobengula's scroll. So to them, the only method for them to mine or to expropriate those minerals was to defeat the Ndebele, so that they could have access to too much deposits of gold. Hence, we blame the whites. Why? They were the ones who had the idea. Why we are saying second round? We have agreed that there was the discovery of gold at Witwater's Rand, and the gold belt was stretching towards the north, ichibva South Africa to the Boer Rand. So ivo vaiti gold rakawanda futi rofa nawanikachi kuno. Pavakatadza kuruwana vakati method chete kuti tiwane gold kudefeata mandebele. So the war is imposed upon them. Anditika then tobva taenda apa. They desire to control the Ndebele Ketu. They desire to, it is said according to S. Mavuru that the Khumalo had large heads of cattle which were much more prominent. Zaiva ne good breed. Why? They've gained much of their cattle from their journey during the Mfekane wars and whatsoever. So the white settlers, they wanted to take control of those cattle. But the only way for them to take control of those cattle was to defeat the Ndebele, so that they could have full ownership of cattle. So we blame them. Why? They've sparked the war so that they could take control of the Ndebele cattle. And it's simple says one. Then according to Jameson, he said that there should be no peace as long as the Ndebele state is still standing. It was well said and well known that the Ndebele were regarded as the blood crater regiment, or the blood crater tribe, or the blood-thirsty tribes. These individuals were well known for their inferiors or notorious warlike behavior. So what happened is, according to the white settlers, they wanted to gain prestige by defeating such a tribe. So they managed to spark the war to the Ndebele so that they could gain that prestigious title that they've defeated one of the most prominent tribes in Southern Africa. The Ntoya Papaganzi control over the Shona. There was a conflict between the Khumalo and the whites over the control of the Shona. Yet before the arrival of the whites, the Ndebele were the ones who have full control of the Shona. Up until that, they've made what we call the caste system. According to the caste system, we've got the Zanzi, the Enki, and the Wall, and the Shona were considered as the Wall. These were now the slaves of the Kuman. But when the white settlers came in Zimbabwe, they wanted to have also full control of the Shona, but yet those who had the first implication yekushandisa mashona vaiva mandebele. Saka whites pakuda kuwanawo cheap labor vakatanga kuda kufosa kudefeata mandebele kuti vakwanise kushandisa mashona. Saka ndo vatinoblema. Toya apa execution of Lobengula's peaceful missionaries. Lobengula have sent peaceful missionaries anzana umutsete mwana ne mandebele names anonetsa kudeaidza. So these individuals, as they were sent to negotiate for peace or coexistence of peace between the two factious groups, what happened is that so this have angered Lobengula and his jurisdiction, and they sparked a war. But vakublemwa ndiani whites noti ndo vatumwa vauraya vanhu vari kuda kuti pave nepeaceful negotiation. So by killing people who have come to administer peace, it means that we are going to blame Yuka noti ndima ramba peace. Tabatanaka. Then toenda up Rhodes Cape to Cairo dream. Rhodes had a dream of Cape to Cairo as he was at Oxford University when he met Jameson, when he met John Ruskin, who gave him an idea that the British or the white race is the center of light, or the center of civilization. So as the British are a center of civilization, they must impart that civilization to all races upon Africa. So that's when Rhodes developed the Cape to Cairo dream. As Rhodes developed the Cape to Cairo dream, it means that if Rhodes wanted to colonize the whole Africa, there was no way the Ndebele state could be saved. So the British could be blamed. Why? They were taking consideration of Rhodes' idea that they wanted to control all the states that were in Africa. Then to Yapanapa, vaida construct a railway line yailinga Beira, Maputo, Cape Town, kupi kuitira kuti vafambise raw materials avo andika nema-equipment ne-food nechi. Saka tinoblema ivo. Why? Because when they wanted to construct the railway line, it was impossible for them to construct the railway line while the Ndebele kingdom was still standing, because the railway line was supposed to pass through Lobengula's kingdom. Yet Lobengula airamba kuti no handidi kuona whites by mukingdom mangu. So even ndo vakakonzeresa hondo noti vaida kuisa railway line ikoko. Andika. Then toya apa they were not allowing the Ndebele to install a new king after the death of Lobengula. Yet, in accordance to their mind, they should have freedom. But in nekuti vakarambirwa to have that political freedom, ndobva vashaya kuti voita sei. Saka vakasuppressa political rights eMandebele andika zvakabhowa Mandebele. And ivo ndo vatinoblema noti vakawana vanhu vane their culture of their political affiliations. But why are you interfering in their political affiliations? Give them their freedom, give them their pride. But they failed to do that. And then, however, despite blaming the whites or the BSAC for the outbreak of the Anglo-Ndebele War, we can take note of the issue of the boundary question that was violated by the Kumalo. The Kumalo had to be blamed for the outbreak of the Anglo-Ndebele War. Why? When Jameson and Lobengula's army, they keep on having conflicts towards who must control the Shona and which boundary is for who and for whom. What happened is Jameson and Lobengula, they have agreed that the boundary between the Kumalo and the whites was between Munyati and the Shashe River. But what happened after this boundary was demarcated, the Ndebele will keep on violating that boundary as they came to Chivi, Churumanzu, defeating the Shona and raiding them. And this was disturbing the economic activities of the whites. And as a result, this made the whites and the Ndebele to fight because Ninya boundary. To end up at Jameson range. It is said that the Ndebele, they've heard that Jameson angaenda kunoita raid of the Boers in South Africa. So they've thought that there was insecurity within the kingdom. So it was the right time for them to attack the whites. And saka pakuda kunoataka ma-whites ndo vatinoblema ndo vakatanga kudi kuataka. Then toenda pagomala incident nebere ndofunga muno pana asingamaziera. Anoti hazviziva kuti chii chakaitika inyaya dzekubiwa kwetelegraph wire nenyaya dzekubiwa kwemombe handiti pana asingazivi here zvingotaura anoti azive kunyarara muribo. Then apa pakuredha mashona ndo yatinotaura kuti the Ndebele vakauya vachinoredha mashona. As they came to raid the Shona, it is said that pane pavaiuya mashona whilst the Shona were practicing the farming and mining activities of the whites. Ivo vobva vauya pavanouya paipai, this was disrupting the economic system of the BSSC, and this have made the BSSC to punish the Ndebele noti vaivakanganisira mabasa avo nekupanisha vanhu vaivashandira zvikazolida kuti pave na-outbreak of the Anglo-Ndebele. Saka iwewe conclusion yako wapedza kuexplaina ndo inotipa the greater mandate yekuti uri kuti ndivanani, mareasons acho ndei.